Okay, well, figure I want to do a little research here. And while I'm doing it, I just figure I might as well go live for it. Why not? Why the hell not? Um, so we're looking into a little bit of Benjamin Paddock, daddy of Stephen Paddock. And I just kind of figure I wanted to go dig through this a little bit and see if I find anything else that's interesting. I mean, I don't know if any of this means anything, but it's interesting nonetheless. I mean, you know, started to get this idea. I don't know, could be wrong, but started to get this idea that maybe this guy maybe he did get some money from Pops. Maybe he had a little more to do with Pops than being left by him. But we got here. This is kind of where it started, man. He's got this wedding on this page was based off of him, Ralph Hudson of DeWitt, Iowa. Is that Iowa? Yeah, it looks like Iowa. This stuff's really small. Formerly of Nauvoo, announces. That's misspelling. The marriage of his daughter, Dolores Irene, to Patrick Benjamin Paddock. Patrick Benjamin Paddock of Chicago. Huh. So is he using a alias at this point? And that's why I had a hard time finding this article again, man, because it's Patrick Benjamin Paddock. Because he's Benjamin Hoskins Paddock. Oh, that's interesting. The wedding took place Reno, Nevada, in the First Methodist Church, which I'll bet you it's still there, man. I'll bet you it's still there. July 16th. They will reside at 4090 Kenmore Street, Chicago. The bride is the granddaughter of Henry Tosh of Nauvoo. That's all we get from that article. So let me see here, because I have not actually put a bunch of this stuff up. So it's 4090. What are we looking at? We're looking at 4090 Kenmore Street in Chicago. And I have looked a lot of this up before. So all right. So let's put that on screen and let's look at what we're looking at here. Stop screen. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but this is how I'm doing it. Share it. Come on. Hit it. There we go. There we go. All right. So, okay. Still got the format. We're good. So this is it. 4090. This is what it looks like these days. Obviously. Let's see. 4090. What's 40? Is that right there? Am I looking at this right here? It's not letting me zoom in right there. Either way, it looks like a pretty nice place. I mean, we're talking about the 50s? Are we talking about the 50s? So this article was done in 1952, it looks like. So in the 50s, yeah, it looks like shit, if it's this side of the street, it's really nice. Can't see any addresses though, man. There's too many cars parked around here. Let's see. So that says 4103, but yeah, it's never shit's never accurate. Let's see. Can I see that? It looks like 4104 on this building here. So where are we looking at? So it's 4090. What we got in this building here? I don't see no addresses. Regardless, don't really matter. We ain't gonna find nothing here, but this is the neighborhood he grew up in. So we go back a little bit. We look at come on, give me back this page now. We look at what part of Chicago this is. So let's see. Let's zoom out a little bit. He's right next to Wrigley Field. Is it Wrigley Field that's out there? Uh, am I in the right freaking place? Yeah, I am. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not. Yeah, Wrigley Field. Okay, so Wrigley Field's just south of him. Looks like a pretty short drive. Uh, is that something? You know what? Hold on. I got to set up here. I got to even make sure that I'm streaming here. Let's see. I wish YouTube made this shit easier. Okay, it says I'm live. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I hear myself. All right. Hello, man. Mike A. I don't know if I know who that is, but yeah. You know what, dude? I mean, if you guys aren't in the Discord, man, we still talk about this a lot in the Discord. LVSA's Discord. You go as community notes and get yourself in there. And we've had some new people come in, show up, and damn, man. Get me back into this shit, which is not something I expect to be doing anytime soon. So anyway, yeah, so he's right up from Wrigley Field, man. It ain't even that far from him. So the Chicago Cubs play, and which is right there. There's Wrigley Field. So yeah, he's right up the street from that. He's on the north side of Chicago, which caused some issues into some of the other stuff I was looking at here. But it looks like he's up in the north side of Chicago. There's a lot of activity down the south side at this. Well, not this time. I think that a lot of the mob stuff was in the 20s and 30s. Hello. So, but we're going to get into that, right? Because there's a lot of interesting shit. If I have enough time, man. I don't know how much time I'm going to have here, but if I have enough time, we'll get into all that stuff. So we got him up here. When he married her, that's where he was chilling. So then we go into, let's see. What was the next thing that I wanted to show? All right. So if we go into his Wikipedia, which everything on Wikipedia is obviously true, always has been. Let's see. So where's the wiki? Sorry, I got a million things open here. Let's see. So finding shit's gonna be a pain in the ass. Let's see. That's the Wikipedia page on him. Okay, so Benjamin Hoskins Paddock Jr., which is weird because he used Patrick Benjamin Paddock as his name when he got married, at least in that article. Let's see, American bank robber, con man, is on the FBI's most wanted fugitives list. Obviously, he was the longest one to be on there, too. Let's see, he was also the father of mass murder. Yeah, we know. That's not what I'm looking at right now. He was born in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, November 1st, 1926. Son of Benjamin Hoskins Paddock Sr. So wouldn't that make him the second? Wouldn't that make him the Benjamin Hoskins Paddock II? I guess they put Junior instead. All right, well, I don't know how that works, but let's see. In the 1950s, in Tucson, Arizona, he operated a service station where he sold used cars. He later sold garbage disposal units under the name of Arizona Disposer Company and was connected with the operation of a nightclub in Tucson. In the late 1950s, Paddock volunteered with the Pima County Juvenile Probation Department. In 1959, was named special deputy to handle cases of wayward youth. Let's see. So, what are you guys saying? I used to watch your old Paddock videos back in the day, mostly listening. Okay. Well, good to have you aboard. All right. So, this is kind of the timeline we're looking at, or the timeline I'm looking at right now. His youth, there wasn't really much I could dig up. Some other people dug some stuff up in that. Yeah. So, anyway. in the 1950s, he was in Tucson, right? So what's he doing? He moved his family, it looks like, into in at least in 1952, which is looks like when he got married. Moved him over to Chicago, and it looks to me like he was both in Chicago and Arizona. He was operating in Arizona, which is strange, right? Strange for this guy. He was in the military. Best I can tell, um, he came out of the military, and it looks like he married, you know, um, somewhat shortly after. I'm not even sure his exact military service, to be honest with you. I haven't found that. But he was in the military at some point. I'm guessing, you know, 18 to what, 20, 22 maybe. Um, which would have put, let's see, what would the date be in that? He was born in 1926. Let's see. So that would have put him at 20 in 1946. So, yeah, he had a few years. He had a few years there, which I'm not finding much as far as those few years go. You know, my trail starts at 1952 when he got married and went over to, was in Chicago. Sorry, I'm getting messages. So anyway, 1952, we got him over here in Chicago. In the 50s, we also got him in Tucson, Arizona. He operated a service station where he sold used cars. Now that becomes important later, because he seemed to do a lot with cars. He later sold garbage disposal units under the name. Now that's just fucking strange. I don't get that. But and there's not a lot to that that I could find. And he had a nightclub in Tucson, right? So what's weird about Tucson in that era? What's really strange that I found, and let's see if I can look it up real quick. Because again, this is just kind of me doing this in real time. Let's see, and if I can find the history of this, because you had a lot of mob activity that was moving into Tucson at that time. And again, I should have probably been a little more, because most of this research I did on my phone. Yet, let's see. Oh my god, dude! Pop-ups and pop-ups and pop-ups. This is crazy. This is stupid. Oh my god. Yeah. Sorry. This is let's see. So retired. No, this is not the kind of article I'm looking for here. I believe I'm looking for the FBI. Let's see. Okay, so of course I'm coming up with AI. God, AI, man, what the fuck? Okay, so here's the history. I believe this is the page I'm looking for. Yeah, I believe this is the page. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this real quick. I'm gonna go into this because I'm just trying to walk through this a little bit and hopefully find something I've yet to see. So, all right. So this is straight off the FBI website, and this is the history of Phoenix, Arizona. In the 40s and 50s, let's see. Yeah, not too worried about World War II. What was happening then? Let's see. As organized crime emerged, national concern, 1950s, the Phoenix Division joined the fight against the mob. In 1958, top hoodlum Joseph Bonanno Jr. moved to Tucson. Now, um, so we have Bonanno, Joseph Bonanno, which he was, I believe he was a New York guy, if I remember right. Let me see. And again, take it all with a grain of salt because I've been wrong on some of this stuff from time to time. I do get shit wrong. Okay, so yeah, Bonanno is an Italian American mafia crime family and one of the 5 families that dominated organized crime activities in New York City. As part of the American mafia. The family known as the Maranzano family. Okay. Not interested in that. So we do have Bonanno as a New York mob guy. And then in 1958, we have him showing up all of a sudden in Tucson, Arizona. I watched some history of this. Yeah, I've never been to the Mob Museum in Vegas. Now you're talking about that. I actually never went there. But yeah, I never got around to that. I've been to a lot of museums and stuff in Vegas, but that's one that just kind of I just never got around to. Never had time. Let's see, as organized crime emerged. So Joseph Bonanno, he's in Tucson. It appears Bonanno was trying to avoid testifying in an FBI New York bankruptcy fraud case. So Phoenix special agent in charge, Joseph McMahon, whatever, had Bonanno arrested. When the Bureau transferred McMahon later that year for other reasons, Bonanno complained to the press that McMahon's transfer was a result of his false arrest and bragged that he was a good American citizen. It didn't work. Bonanno was returned to New York to testify. Okay, so in 58, we have Bonanno running around Tucson. We have Paddock in Tucson, which is strange, and I'm not saying that, I know these are linked. It's just awkward, man, of all places, man, Tucson, Arizona. And so Paddock's running a couple of criminal enterprises over there. And let's see if we got that on the wiki so that I have an easier time finding it, because otherwise I'm going to have to dig through a bunch of other websites. If I could find the damn wiki again. I think I got rid of the wiki. All right, let me punch this in again. Oh my God, dude. It's like giving me different results than it did last time. There we go. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's go to let's put the wiki up. All right, so let's see. So we got his early life, criminal career, right? 46. Paddock was convicted of 10 counts of auto larceny. So you got auto larceny, and you got him running. What is he running over there? He's running. Is it up here? Let's see. Where he sold used cars. So sold used cars. 46. He was doing some little larceny action there. And then in the 50s, he was selling cars over there in Tucson. So this guy likes his cars, likes doing stuff with cars. 5 counts of confidence game. Not sure what the hell that means. I mean, I don't know. Is he telling you to look for a little ball under the cup? And was confined at the Illinois State Penitentiary in July of 1951. In 53, he was convicted of conspiracy. So he obviously got out pretty quick. I don't know. I know other people have those prison records. In fact, I probably have them run up here. I don't even know how long he was in there for that one. But 1953, he was convicted of conspiracy in connection with bad check passing. Now, that's another one that becomes important later. Um, operation, right? So, well, he's in connection. So it's not saying he was running it, which is something I was getting wrong too. It's saying he's in connection with it. So, and was again held in Illinois State Penitentiary until August of 1956. So he spent what, 3 years in 53? So he spent 3 years in there. In one of his early arrests, he was found with a concealed revolver. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Okay, so where the bad check thing comes in, which is interesting, if we go back to the FBI page here, and we start looking at the mobsters or the people that were on the FBI's most wanted list in that area. Let's see. Okay, so during this time, if you had worked with bank robberies, kidnapping, extortions, future searches. 52, Hardin Kemper, a car thief ringleader, failed to appear the day he was to enter jail and was named by the FBI, named to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list. Following year, state patrolman recognized Kemper and from his wanted flyer and notified Phoenix agents who arrested him in Glendale. All right, so now we got a car thief ringleader, right? So a lot of car shit going on here, and that was in 1952. That was that before he went into prison, or was that after he went into prison? Let's see here. If I can find the damn wiki again. I got so many pages open up here. So in 53, he was convicted. All right, so he was out sometime between 51 and 53 because he got locked up in 51, but then he got locked up again in 53. So here we have something that kind of fits. Oh, God, what screen am I on? Holy shit. I got a million screens up. FBI. Okay. So here we got something that kind of fits. This Hardin Kemper guy, car thief ringleader. Okay. He gets arrested. He gets busted in 1952. Paddock is, selling used cars at that time. And he's over there in Tucson. This doesn't say, this says Phoenix. So this is Phoenix, Arizona. I want to see what the difference is between Phoenix and Tucson. It's a 2-hour drive, so it's a little ways away. So this, this may or may not be connected. Okay, I'll say that this is very highly possible that this is not even connected. It's still an interesting. It's interesting. Let's see. By the 1960s, the office had grown 28 sport. Okay, so whatever. Besides Bonanno, other mafia members moved to Arizona in the 50s and 60s. One was Charles Joseph Battaglia Jr. 4 years, Battaglia avoided jail, often because witnesses were unwilling to testify against him. The record continued until late 1960s when an arduous FBI investigation sent him to court. Despite 7-day trial days and other attempts by, what did he do though? To derail yet another prosecution, Phoenix agents had compiled a strong case. Ultimately convicted of threatening victims and others to prevent them from testifying against him. But what did he do originally? Division agents also arrested Bonanno again, this time for obstructing a grand jury investigation when he interfered. Yeah, I read a little bit about that. And third major Phoenix mob case, Eugene Bulgarino and 19 associates were charged with robbery, extortion, gambling, bribery, and drug and firearm offenses. 16 subjects pled guilty by the conclusion of the case. All right, so a lot of mob activity going on. It doesn't say where these were, like where these things were all at. It says Phoenix mob case, right? So a lot of this is based out of Phoenix, but funny enough, Bonanno was in Tucson, and they're lumping Bonanno with all this stuff. So it kind of tells me that Phoenix and Tucson were probably running together. I could be wrong about that, but I mean, they're 2 hours away by driving. You know, back then the cars didn't go as fast either, so it was probably more like 3 hours. But yeah. Agents also located five 10 most wanted fugitives during the 1960s. We have a lot of people on the top 10 list, obviously in this area, which is crazy, including Paddock. Merle Gall, a burglary gang leader who failed to appear in sentencing, was captured in Scottsdale parking lot. Bank robber Donald Rainey, bank robber, here we go, was apprehended in Nogales. Agents arrested John Slayton. Now, this is the guy that's interesting to me because this guy has absolutely no fucking presence online except for his prisoner number, you know. But it's John Slayton. I've been looking into him. There's an old guy named John Slayton that was a old, I think he was like a mayor or some shit, you know, that keeps popping up. But it's not the same guy. And then this guy, he's just hard to find anything on him. So he arrested him, and considering he's on the top 10 most wanted list, it's like, dude, come on, man. There's got to be some out there on this guy. I mean, you see mugshots and stuff, but there's just not a lot of them out there. They arrested John Slayton in whatever valley, don't care. Slayton shot at police officers pursuing him as he fled after being questioned about bad checks. So here we go. Bad checks, right? This guy's cashing bad fucking checks. And, you know, you got, for some reason, a couple things keep popping up here, right? Bad checks and car theft, you know, and you know, which you know, obviously we got Paddock, who was selling used cars, and he was busted for something having to do with bad checks. And then we got this fucking guy. On January 24th, 1968, Tucson agents caught two top tenors, bank robber Jerry James and Donald Sparks, who was wanted for robbing. Sorry, man, words are hard right now. 3 residences. Okay. Let's see. So then we go down a little bit. I guess I could read a little bit more of this because I don't even think I got this far. Cases didn't quite make the most wanted list, provide unique challenges for Division 2. Jimmy Workman, for instance, had robbed 9 California banks. A lot of bank robbery going on here. And was wanted in Phoenix for his suspected commission of an October 1962 robbery. Known for disguising himself and taking hostages during the robberies, he was to be named to the top 10 list in November 1962. Before that happened, the Phoenix Division learned he was expecting a letter at a local post office, staked out, and arrested him. Right? 3 years later, Phoenix agents were summoned to a robbery and arrest Robert Camacho, another serial bank robber. Again, more bank robberies. The agents determined that Camacho was the actual culprit in the October 1962 robbery mentioned above. Camacho was convicted and imprisoned, but it wasn't the last Phoenix heard of him. Another year passed. Agents were called to help search for several escaped prisoners, including Camacho. All right, so here we got a prison escape as well. What year was this? Another year passed. So, so what are we talking about? We're talking about 1963. Yeah, it looks like 63 from this timeline. Let's make sure here. Was the actual culprit? No, October 62 robbery. So it's not 63. Camacho was convicted and in prison. So it doesn't say when he was actually in prison. But it wasn't the last Phoenix heard of him. Another year passed. Agents were called to help search several escaped prisoners, including Camacho. The escapees that spread the bars of one of the prison's windows using a metal window frame that they removed from a bathroom. They then knocked a hole in the cement block wall, made their escape, and split up for days. Agents searched nearby desert, mountains, and canyons. They recaptured 3 escapees, including Camacho. How many did they say escaped? Several. It just says several. Doesn't say all of them. So that's what you got as far as the timeline, right? 60s, a lot were going on. A lot was going on out there in Phoenix, man. And, you know, obviously, like I said, Bonanno was sitting in Tucson, and Benjamin was also in Tucson. So if we go back to let's see. So we got a little bit of a timeline here. It looks like a lot of this stuff was going on around 62 and shit like that. So if we go back to good old Benji Paddock. Start looking at this, and hope to God, dude, that Wikipedia got this right, because Wikipedia sucks ass. See, so now we go down to so we got him in 53. Let's see, with bad check operations held again in Illinois State Penitentiary until August of 56. So from 53 to 56, this dude was locked up. All right, so we got that. He was accused of robbing branches in Valley National Bank of Arizona in Phoenix. Here comes Phoenix again. So obviously these guys did travel. On February 19th, 1959, on January 1960. He robbed another branch in 1960 again. He was captured and then convicted of the third robbery in federal court in January of 1961. So he was in prison at the point that we had the other robbery from the other dude in 1962. During his arrest, he attempted to run down the FBI agent with his car. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison. On December 30th, 1968, Paddock escaped from federal correctional institution La Tuna in Anthony, Texas. A warrant for his arrest relating to his escape was issued February 3rd, 1969. He was placed on the FBI 10 most wanted list. What's interesting about that, I mean, yeah, digging again, man. Oh, shit. Yeah, they got me back into this, man. I can't believe I'm back into this shit. Oh, thought I was done. They keep pulling me back in. Let's see. So yeah, we got another prison escape. And whether these are connected or not, it's hard to tell. Because the FBI does not put good records out. FBI, their website sucks. But at least the way they write all this stuff. So this Camacho guy was busted for was the actual culprit in October 1962 robbery mentioned above. What's interesting, though, I mean, to me at least, is while Paddock was in prison, all these bank robbers started getting arrested. They all started getting busted. Now, it doesn't have time frames and what their crimes were. I don't think, unless let's see here. If I click on their Wikipedia page now, it doesn't say. Yeah, it just on the FBI page just gives you their numbers and shit like that. So, but on January, okay, so let's look at this again. Let's go back. So with Paddock, let me see the timeline we're looking at here. He was in prison, right? So let's see. I like this. Most individuals who end up on the FBI most wanted list are off the list in less than 6 months, man. These people get nailed. Paddock was among those who were on the list the longest, being placed on the list in June 10th, 1969, removed on May 5th of 1977. So, described 6'4", 245 pounds, blonde hair, being balding, and frequently shaved. Okay, green eyes, the eyes, and wore contact lenses or glasses. His scar above his right eyebrow, on his right knee, birthmark on his left ankle. Described as smooth talker, as arrogant and egotistical, liking cigars, cigarettes, and steaks. He also played bridge, enjoyed gambling, watching sports, particularly baseball. For for which he also worked as an umpire. During his criminal career, Paddock had numerous aliases, including Perry Archer, Benjamin J. Butler, Leo, Jenstein, um, Pat Paddock, and Patrick Benjamin Paddock. So he got married under an alias. That's weird, man. That's fucking weird because he wasn't even wanted in 1952. But he still got married under an alias. That's fucking weird. Um, his nicknames include Chrome Dome, Old Baldy, and Big Daddy. Okay, so after escaping prison in 1968. So here's where we got a timeline here, man. He got when he got locked up, shit. Was this let's see, he was accused of robbing let's see. So in one of his earlier he robbed another branch. He was in capture and convicted of a third robbery federal court in January of 1961. So from 1961 to 1968, we got him in prison. Now, what's weird about this, I mean, and I'm just putting together bullshit, right? I'm just putting together fucking stupid shit. I'm trying to walk through this. But if we go back to the FBI's most wanted list here, so 61 to 69 is he was serving a fucking term. So what was happening in Tucson, all that, 61 to 69. So you got 1968. We got two bank robbers getting locked up. And then let's see. So then we also got this guy, Jimmy Workman, who was robbing banks. Let's see, 9 California banks. I was wanted in Phoenix for suspected commission of an October 62 robbery, right? So Phoenix, he's robbing banks in Phoenix. And so he got put up. Let's see. So he was named to be in the top 10 list in November 62. So in 62, he got thrown up in the on the list. So that was early. So Paddock had been in jail for a year at that point. But up here, when you go to the Jerry James and Donald Sparks case, they got locked up a year before he escaped. Let's see, 3 years later, some to a robbery and arrest of Robert Camacho, another serial bank robber. They determined he was the actual culprit in the October 1962 robbery mentioned above. Now, I don't know, man. A lot of this shit just seems fucking weird, dude. A lot of dudes robbing fucking banks out there and getting fucking hemmed up, dude, at the same time that this motherfucker's in prison. And a year after this Jerry James, Donald Sparks get locked up, Paddock walks out. Paddock walks out of prison. And I believe in the interview, and that's an interview that's somewhere out there, he says he just walked out. They ask, how'd you get out of prison? How'd you escape from prison? He said, I just walked out. So that's interesting, right? That's I don't know what to make of that, man. Sounds like, I mean, if I had to speculate here, which I do once in a while, it sounds like he was dropping the dime on these fucking people. It sounds like he's ratting motherfuckers out. And and I'm guessing, since you had a heavy mob boss running around this area, and I think he actually had a crew. I don't know. I saw a video. It's hard to find anything on Bonanno's time in the 50s and 60s run around in Tucson. But, I mean, you got to figure, Benji here owns a nightclub in Tucson. Owns a fucking nightclub. And it has a used car business, right? And I'm guessing the used car business, I mean, you're probably going to get some shady fucking cars coming in there. But, the nightclub in Tucson, I don't know, man. Bonanno hang out that place? Was he getting some action off that club? I don't fucking know. And I don't have the timeline right now of when. I forgot when he moved his family out there. I have it somewhere, but I think he moved his family out to Tucson. Oh God, I think it was somewhere in the late 50s, if I remember right. I'm not sure because I know he was getting fucked with a lot, and then he moved him out there. But anyway, so the problem I have with a lot of Chicago stuff when I'm looking up the mafia angle on this, you know, um, and a lot of what you're going to get into um, with that because there's not a lot of history of the mafia in. Let me see. Let's go back to the where he was in Chicago. There's not a lot of history of the mafia in Chicago after the Valentine's Day massacre, because my understanding, and this is just my layman's understanding of what was going on back then. Um, and I could be wrong on a lot of this, and I don't know the geography of this place all that well. But my understanding of the mafia, from what I've seen in Chicago, was on the south side. You had the big hitters like Capone and stuff like that. On the north side, I forget what they were called, but they had a different mob going on, thing going on up here on the north side. Um, the south side was a bit stronger, but that's when the big war happened um, between the south and the north. And I don't know, there was a lot of drama between. I think the guys from the north tried to kill the head guy from the south, and then there's some drama with that. And then Capone went and basically fucking murked everybody that was a hitter from the north side on the Valentine's Day massacre. And then that was kind of the end of the mob, I believe, on the north side of Chicago. And then after that, and I think that was in the 30s, right? Valentine's Day massacre. Let's see. Uh, let's see. So it happened. Okay, Valentine's Day of 1929. So we're talking like way before all this stuff, right? Paddock was a kid when this shit was going down. But and he was probably still in Iowa or whatever. I don't know when he actually moved to Chicago himself. But so if you got at this point in time, you basically had some holdouts, I think, in the 30s from that North Side gang, and I forget what they were called. They had a name for them. It was like 10th Street Gang or some weird shit like that. But I could be thinking, yeah, I keep getting them confused with the gang that's in Portland, because we get into Portland later with this life. So yeah, so at this point, it's hard to say, man, what the hell was actually going on in Chicago, because after Capone, you know, uh, obviously Capone ran Chicago in the 20s. I forget when he was locked up, but um, and then we got Bonanno moving from New York to, and that's kind of the issue that I'm having, where it's like easy to say he was mobbed up with the mob, but why was he mobbed up with the mob from New York with Bonanno being in Tucson? Unless because this north side of Chicago, at least in the 20s, was not friendly with the south side of Chicago, which I believe the south side of Chicago was friendly with the families, the five families or whatever it was at the council. But then I think Bonanno tried to whack, I think, two guys from the council or something. Some drama happened there, and then Bonanno ended up moving to running off to Tucson to get away from it all, because he fucked up and they were after him. And I believe they let him live because they're like, well, you can just, he was a capo or whatever the fuck. He was a head of the family or some shit. So they let him live out there. But so the mafia connection is tough, man. It's really fucking tough to put the pieces together on that, because you got New York and you got Chicago. You got Benjamin living in Chicago and then operating out of Arizona. And then you got the New York mobsters looked like they were kind of swarming into Tucson. So I don't know, because a lot of these guys, when they talk about it on the FBI most wanted list and stuff like that, they don't mention a lot of mob stuff. They're not saying that they were clicked up with the mob, and I haven't been able. I just really haven't had time either. But I haven't had the time to go into a lot of these names. The one that I was interested in was this Slayton guy, and because they got him on bad checks, and what else was he? He was. I think he was wanted for something else too later. I think he was he did something else, man. It wasn't just bad checks they were after him for. If I remember right, I think he was I think he was robbing banks too, or something like that. I think I saw on another page or something. But whatever. It just seems to me the bad checks is a weird fucking thing. That's a weird operation, right? So, I'm kind of wondering if this guy fucking knew Paddock, if they were in it together. And I can't find anything on this guy, so I have no fucking idea. Anyway, so that's what I'm looking at there as far as that goes. So it looks like a lot of dudes getting locked up while Paddock's in prison. And then we come to where Paddock gets out of prison. And let me get back on the let's see, the wiki page here. As much as I hate wiki, it's just the easiest thing to use here. Let's see. So and it's interesting to me, like so he got out in December 68. Took him a whole 2 months? No, not really. Yeah, so it's January, February. Yeah, a whole month. It basically took him a whole month to put him on the to put a warrant out for him. So like that's crazy. I don't know. Some seems a little fucking fishy there, right? So the dude escaped from prison. I would expect them to know he escaped like almost immediately, or know who escaped immediately. I mean, maybe the records weren't that good back then, but shit, man. It took him a whole month to put him on, to give him an arrest warrant for escaping from fucking prison. That's kind of weird, man. Now maybe it's something they got to do with, a federal warrant. Maybe he had a warrant in Texas for escaping immediately. I don't fucking know. There could be an explanation I'm not seeing here. So anyway, so he got out, being placed on the list 69, removed in 1977. While on the most wanted list, he described, I don't care about that. After escaping prison in 68, Paddock moved to Oregon, where he took on the name Bruce Warner Erickson. In Oregon, he worked as contract trucker, strange, and in drug abuse rehabilitation. Obviously, contract trucking, you can do a lot of nasty things as far as crime goes involving that, and drug abuse rehabilitation, which is strange. But like, I was watching about Al Capone, how Al Capone was trying to clean up his image at one point. And when he started trying to clean up his image, he was running soup kitchens and shit like that. So I don't know if that's part of something that's going on there. I don't have a clue. He was twice cited for traffic violations. Who cares? And applied for and was granted a license to open a bingo parlor. But his identity was not uncovered. He then operated a bingo parlor for the Center for Education Reform, a nonprofit based in Eugene, Oregon. All right, well, it sounds legit so far. He's captured and arrested in early September 1978 in Springfield, Oregon, and was eventually released on parole. Which, I know a lot of people had questions about that. It's like, shit, man, this dude escaped from prison, man, for fucking robbing banks. He had a 20-year term. He said he served 8 years of that shit. Escaped from prison, and then they release him on parole. That's fucking nuts. In 87, he was charged by the Oregon Attorney General with racketeering related to his bingo business and fraud for an illegal business rolling back car odometers. So here we go again, man. He's rolling back odometers. It doesn't say in Oregon that he's selling cars, but it sounds like he is. But it doesn't say he had a business selling used cars here. But now you kind of get an idea of what he was most likely doing, even in the past, right? He's got this, he knows how to roll back the odometers. I mean, I don't know how that worked back then. I don't know if you could throw them in reverse. I don't think that worked that way. But even back then, I know it doesn't work now. But yeah, he knew how to roll back, car odometers. Obviously, you're probably going to sell the cars. There's no other reason to really do that. I mean, you could do car insurance fraud, but it's not like that big of a fucking deal to pay an extra, $10 a month, and it's not worth, risking that. But avoided a prison sentence by paying $100,000 fine. Shit, man, this guy had some money back then, dude. $268,000 in 2023 dollars. Shit, man. And then after the latest inflation, it's probably even more. Later in life, his involvement in bingo earned him the nickname Bingo Bruce. During the last decade of his life, he lived quietly in Texas, where he co-owned a car shop with his girlfriend. Car shop, dude. Fuck this guy, man. I mean, he was probably just, this dude's fucking nuts. But so he worked as he was twice, yes, traffic violations, yeah. So they didn't, I guess what they're trying to say is they didn't pick him up on traffic violations, even though he was on the most wanted list. That was at that time. Holy shit. Are you fucking kidding me? So he was cited twice for traffic violations in September 1977. September 1977. Wait, let me go back to that. No, I'm not going to get off this page. 1977. Let's see. So he was removed from the list in May 5th of 1977. He was cited for traffic violations September 1977. Now, isn't that fucking weird? That's fucking strange, man. That is fucking weird. April, May. So right before, and in September he applied for. Okay, well he was cited twice for traffic violation, and in September. Okay, so in September 90. So he waited. Okay, I see what's going on here. I'm wrong. He was cited twice for traffic violations, not in September. That's completely separate. Fuck you, Wikipedia. And in September 1977, he applied for and granted a license for a bingo parlor, but his identity was not uncovered. So in September, so a few months after he was removed from the FBI list there, the most wanted list, he got ballsy and opened up his bingo parlor. So he waited for himself to get off that list. So up until this point, he was working as whatever a contract trucker fucking means, and in this drug abuse rehabilitation. Which, I mean, was he on drugs? Did he use drugs in the past? I don't know. It doesn't say anything about that. But it's like, what's your qualifications for being a drug abuse counselor? I guess you're probably working with a lot of nonprofits at that point, probably learning the industry as far as how the nonprofits operate, I guess. Because later he starts working with this Center for Education Reform. I guess maybe that's his foot in the door into that. But September 1977, he applied for and was granted bingo parlor. But his identity was not covered. Then he got busted later for supposedly doing something with the money he was getting out of that bingo parlor. And it's weird though that he was released on parole. That is strange, They're just gonna let this guy go, man. He was one of the longest guys on the FBI's most wanted list. You just let him go on parole. Fuck it, let him go. Who cares? That's a little fucking nutty. I think I saw a thing from a judge on one of these websites. I don't even know. but something about him saying that this guy's just too old and feeble to to serve time, which sounds like something we had recent history. In 1970, he was charged with Oregon Attorney General for racketeering related to his bingo. Now, somebody told me there was something funny about this Oregon Attorney General at the time, which I know if I click this link, it ain't going to tell me who he was. It's probably going to give me the current Oregon Attorney General. But something with that guy having to do with organized crime, and I'll go into the organized crime here in a minute, related to his bingo business or fraud. For an illegal business, he ran rolling back car odometers. That's weird though, man. Like an illegal business he ran. Rolling back car odometers is not necessarily a business, right? Now you fucking got an ad in the pages that you roll back car odometers. Nah, dude. It sounds like he was running an illegal. It sounds like he was selling cars, man. It sounds like he was illegally selling cars or something. I don't know. It doesn't really have a lot of info on that. All right, so let's look at what was going on in Portland at the time. Was it Portland he was in? He was in Portland, right? Just oh no, yeah, I moved to Oregon. So he's busted in Eugene, Oregon, and Springfield, Oregon. Let's see where Springfield, Oregon is. I'm just curious here. What the biggest city around Springfield is. Let's see, Springfield, Oregon. It's over by Eugene. How close is it to Portland? Portland's the big one. I don't want to get to Springfield, Albany. Let's see, where's Portland? Okay, yeah, he's south of Portland. So let's see how long it takes to get from Springfield to Portland. I don't think it's that long of a drive. 2 hours. This guy liked to do his dirty fucking business 2 hours away from major cities. That's crazy. Because I don't even know if Tucson was a big city back then. I think Tucson blew up like in the 90s. Okay, so now I'm going to look up, Oregon, organized crime. And that's what the... I don't know. We'll do 1960s. Let's see, organized crime on the rise in Oregon. No, that's recent. Elderly fraud. 10th and Oregon crew. So okay. So we do have another issue with this, though. Let's see, let's prevent, share screen. This is where I was getting that 10th Street thing going on. 10th and Oregon crew, also known as the 10th and O crew. It's predominantly Italian American organized crime gang operating in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh no, never mind. This is Philadelphia. That's why I keep getting that screwed up, man. This is getting my wires crossed here. Let's go back to Paddock so I don't dox the shit out of myself doing all these searches. Go back to him. Okay, now let me find this, because there was some interesting things going on in Oregon. Let's see. In that time, let's see, organized crime in Oregon. Let's see. So, wow, there's something. Okay, yeah, it's just stuff. Yeah, it's nothing. Let's see. So organized crime. Okay, so I think this is him. Crime bosses. Okay, let's go to this. All right, so here we go. Like I said, I know there's other people out there with more information than this. People have been sharing stuff with me here, but this is just what I've kind of gone through. James Butler Elkins, 1901 1968, was a crime boss, Portland, Oregon, mid 20th century. Elkins was involved in numerous illegal activities for several decades in the mid 20th century. He reportedly ran gambling rackets and nightclubs, like the 8212 Club. Known for his brutality, his testimony supported over 70 hours of audio recordings of conversations he made to his own, was a prominent feature in the McClellan Committee investigations into organized crime that commenced in 1957. Elkins' audio recording resulted in indictments of Portland Mayor Terry Whatever and District Attorney William Langley. All right, so we got some corrupt bullshit going on up there in Portland, although both were acquitted. Well, they're acquitted, I guess. Portland Chief of Police Jim Purcell was also indicted. Oh, shit, they even went after Chief of Police. Purcell was later described as he was very good at derailing investigations and covering up murders. Jim Elkins paid Purcell well for his services. Okay, if you believe Wikipedia. Elkins spent the first 30 years of his life involved in crimes, including manufacturing moonshine, shooting a security guard in Arizona. So here we go again. And I believe it was Tucson. I think the other article I had it actually in Tucson, Arizona, which again, Arizona keeps popping up with these fucking guys. Possessing narcotics and organizing gambling. Around 1936, Elkins came to Portland to help his brother Fred Elkins managed a small prostitution ring. Fred collected money from the business. Jim paid the bribes to the police department in exchange for protection from the law. All right, so what's interesting about this is he died. He died the year that Paddock came out. So Paddock jammed out of prison there, and then came immediately to Portland, and sometime that year, he showed up there, and sometime that year, this fucking dude passed away. And that was your big organized crime boss. And it doesn't really have anybody after him. These days you look it up and all you're going to find is like motorcycle gangs and stuff like that. As far as I can find. So to me, that was, that's interesting because we keep running back into Arizona. There's something, these guys love their Arizona bullshit. Now, one thing I looked up today that I haven't even seen yet is, I believe it's this. Yeah. So, what is this? Okay. This is, let's see, I got to put this on screen. So this is something that's actually new to me because I just looked this up today, and I know a lot of people have seen all this stuff already. But we got his wanted poster, his fingerprints. Man, those are ugly, fucked up fingerprints, man. What the fuck? Let's see. Oh man, I can barely read this thing. Let's see. So aliases: Perry Archer, Benjamin Butler, Les Leo, Genstein, Benjamin Hoskins Jr., Ben H. Paddock Jr., Benjamin Hodgins Paddock, Benjamin Hoskins Paddock, Pat Paddock, Patrick Benjamin Paddock, Big Daddy, Grondon, Old Baldy. So this guy's height and all that stuff. Nationality American. Oh, that's funny. Let's see. Occupations: automobile mechanic, electrician, promoter, salesman, service station operator. Scars, don't care. Remarks: may wear glasses, contact lenses. Yeah, I don't care. Social security number. Yeah, whatever. Criminal record: Paddock has been convicted of bank robbery, automobile larceny, and confidence game. That's so stupid. Um, Caution: Paddock, diagnosed as a psychopathic, has carried firearms in commission of bank robberies. He reportedly has suicidal tendencies and should be considered armed and very dangerous. So there's where the federal warrant was issued. Uh, wow. So even the FBI claims he's a psychopath. That's kind of crazy. Oh, I could have just done that. All right. Let's see. Let's go back. So there were some other pages here. All right. So none of his associates, Chrome Dome, Old Baldy, Big Daddy, Benjamin Hoskins Paddock, his two sons' contribution to the FBI's list 10 most wanted fugitives. He made the list after escaping in December 31st. I thought it was December 30th, but whatever. From a federal correctional institution, he was serving a 20-year sentence for robbing a Phoenix bank in 1960. Paddock, alias Perry Archer, yeah, all that shit. Time of the robbery, Paddock lived in Tucson with his wife and 4 children. Okay, they were living in Tucson at the time. Neighbors said they couldn't believe that the colorful businessman, then 34 years old, was involved in crime. Okay. Let's see anything else in here. Although he was in prison for a $4,620 holdup of a branch in Valley National Bank in Phoenix, Paddock also has been accused of 2 other bank robberies. These charges were dropped after his conviction. So, wow. So they like convicted him of 1 and then just said, fuck the other 2. That's weird. That's fucking weird. Like, you got enough time, dude. 20 years is fine. Just lock him up. Who cares? That's a little strange. Federal officers reported that when he was arrested in Las Vegas, Paddock attempted to run down FBI. Oh, okay, so he was in Vegas when he got busted. That's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. So he was arrested. So that was when he ran down the FBI agents. So that's 1961. Yeah, okay. Since he utilized firearms in previous crimes, has employed violence in attempting to evade arrest, and has been diagnosed as being psychopathic, Paddock should be considered extremely dangerous. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's starting to fit the narrative at this point, dude. He's got some. His dad was a fucking psychopath, according to the FBI. Okay, that's all we got in here. Let's see. Stephen Paddock, the man who authorities say gunned down 58 people and injured hundreds in Las Vegas in a massacre Sunday night, spent his childhood in Tucson. His father was a former service station owner and car salesman who broke out of prison after being convicted in a 1960 Phoenix bank robbery. They don't say he was in the fucking Navy, and he's actually buried in a military cemetery. Benjamin Paddock was arrested in 61 for robbing Phoenix. His son Stephen, the oldest of 4 Paddock children, living with his wife Dolores in Tucson. So, yeah, that's all I'm seeing here. Let's see. So, what do I got up on screen? I got that up on screen. So where to go from here? Let's see. What do we got? We got some of these other fucking clowns. What do we got? We got. I was gonna go to the FBI again. So the FBI. Let's see. What do we got here? We got Jerry James and Donald Sparks. Man, I'm not gonna be able to find those people. You kidding me? Jerry James? Fuck, man. There's gonna be 5 million fucking. Um, let's try something here. Donald Sparks, I believe. Let's see what we got on Donald Sparks. Let's see. Police. I got police officer Donald Sparks. You got the Phoenix history. Uh, let's. There's something. Let's see. So where is it? So Donald Sparks. Running down through this. Man arraigned in bank robbery, but this is 1991. LA Times Archives. Oops. Oh, come on, dude. Are you for real? Bro, like I need to freaking go. I just want to read this shit. Fuck you. I'm not subscribing to your bullshit. Let's see. Do we have anything here on this guy? Sparks versus State, that's 2005. In response to aggravated robbery. Okay, well, maybe that's the same as that last one, but this could be another dude, man. Several indictments. Appellant Donald Sparks is charged with felony offense of murder of Deborah and aggravated assault. Appellant pleaded not guilty of charges for a single jury was found both guilty. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same guy. There's a problem. In 2002, Appellant was 70 years of age. Okay, retired and a widower. So that would have made him born around 1950. What 1950? Or no? Fuck. Why is my math off today, man? 1930. So this is an old dude. This could actually be the same fucking guy. Was 70 years old, retired and a widower. Lauren and Appellant have been friends for 3 years. Not have an intimate relationship, although he allowed her to live with him at his trailer house for about a month. Okay. Sammy's testimony. We're not looking at Sammy. We're looking at Appellant's testimony. Lauren left the trailer. Yeah, I just want to see if it's the same dude or not. But it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I want to see like priors. Defensive property. Self-defense. Yeah, okay, whatever, dude. Yeah, I want to see. I mean, because you go on the FBI site. Oh yeah, you don't need my feedback, dude. Really. And this is usually what you get. You just get a picture and a number. His partner Jerry Ray James was arrested with him. So fugitive number, yeah. So you get a fugitive number, and that's about it. It's crazy. His fugitive number. I mean, these fugitive numbers are probably like fucking 10 digits now. Yeah, because they're right next to each other, dude. One's 59, one's number 56, 256. But yeah, I don't know, man. It looks like this dude could still be in action, man. This dude's still running around robbing shit. So we got a police officer, Donald T. Sparks. I don't know any of this stuff. Oh, that's not him. That's definitely not him. Oh shit. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna cut it off there. I don't have too much more going on here. At this point, it's just gonna be going down rabbit holes. Um, I mean, we can. Let's see. Let's do this real quick. Which one was that? That was no, it's not that one. It's where is this guy? Yeah, it's this thing. So we got some stuff here. We do have his legit mug shots. Not sure what this is. Go on to press. I know, like, I don't want to click on something and just read random gibberish, but let's see, what is this shit? Let's real quick. Let's see of the week. So named Youth of the Week. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the hell that is. That's in 1909. So yeah, that's not him. I mean, all we got is this. That's bullshit. Eugene, Oregon. Doesn't have a date on that. I ain't got a date on that. Oh well. Yeah. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. Anyway, yeah. So I think I'm gonna cut this off there. I don't know. I mean, this dude, the whole idea here is, man, like, did this guy like hand off money to his son? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out, is if this guy, who this guy was, man. It almost looks like, and I know people said this before, it almost looks like he's an FBI informant. Not that he's, someone said a mole, but no, I don't think he's a mole. I think he's a rat. I think this guy just ratted out his people so he could get out of prison. And I don't know how that prison system works, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because it looks like they broke out of prison. But then, I don't know, man. Like, why didn't they rearrest his ass? Because they gave him probation. They didn't put him in prison. So that's weird. It's fucking strange. Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to cut that off there. And yeah, I don't think he had a father for a lot of that, dude. But I think when they got older, and I think she stayed in Tucson, I believe. Paddock Benjamin, I believe, remarried. I'll look that up later, and I'll maybe do another video doing this stuff. But eventually, I want to just put this whole thing together and make just one stupid video with just all the info on it instead of just doing these like live stream things. But yeah, it sounds like he bailed in 1968, went to Eugene, Oregon. It sounds like she stayed out there for a bit, I think, but somehow, she eventually ended up in California. And yeah, she ended up out here in California near LA, because they ended up going to school out by Los Angeles out there. So I don't know the exact timeline on that. I'll have to go back and look it up. Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing? Good to see you. So I have to look up timelines on all this stuff. I don't, I'm gonna have to put a lot of this together. There's just some stuff I was looking at because I've never actually dealt with the dad. Never did anything with the dad, but I did put in a FOIA request. So here's one thing. I did put in a FOIA request for this dude, Benjamin Paddock, uh, put an official request just for him. And today I got the notice back because it's been a 2-week process now. Today I got the notice back saying that it's going to be in the vault. So someday, eventually, you're going to see something on Benjamin Paddock in the vault for the FBI. And when that happens, I'll go show that off. I mean, we'll see what it is, but the vault has been extremely busy these days, man. So I don't know what's going on with that FBI, if it's got to do with a lot of the politics happening right now. But that vault has a fuck ton of drops. It just dropped in the last 2-3 days. It's fucking insane. So maybe this will get pushed through. Usually when they give you one of these things saying it's going to be in the vault, historically with me, because like the gambling record, stuff like that, when that came out, which was stupid because they gave me gambling records of, casinos in Reno that I don't give a shit about. But when I did that FOIA request, it took them, that's what they say. They say, oh, it's going to be in the vault. Don't worry about it. Man, that took them like a year and a half, 2 years to put that in, into the vault. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. They seem to be speeding up the process. In the past, the vault was usually maybe like 3 articles a day, every other day. It wasn't even every day. And, but damn, dude, like today they blew up, man. There was like, I think they threw 8 things in today or something like that. And then same yesterday. So, yeah, they're kind of speeding up the process. I don't know if it's that no more working from home shit that's going on or what's going on, but something's happening over there that they're picking up the pace a little bit. So hopefully we get something on this Benjamin. I'm actually kind of curious now if maybe he had some money from his daddy that he was working off of and spending. That maybe he was the contact. I mean, if speculation, using speculation and what's been said, with Eric saying that he's, Paddock, Stephen Paddock was the one that made him all rich, or whatever, and made it so his mom could live comfortably or whatever the fuck. It makes me wonder, like, looking at some of this stuff and all this sort of stuff, this guy was kind of a con man. Wonder if maybe daddy had money and, daddy maybe left him some money. Maybe Steven was the go-between between daddy and the family, because I know some of the family had absolutely nothing to do with the father. And the father did remarry. So, at least I believe he remarried. I think the obituary had, which I don't have right now. I couldn't even find it. So I'll have to dig that up through people that have it. But in the obituary, I believe it said he had a wife and some kids, which obviously he has kids, but I think he had some kids with the new wife. So, hey, how you doing? So I believe, he was remarried. So, it could be a thing where, and like I said, this is speculation, man. It could be a thing where the daddy had money, but then why wouldn't he leave it to the wife? Oh, fuck, I don't know. And then, but Paddock could have been the guy that, hey, it's obvious. I mean, it's possible that Paddock was the guy laundering his money. I mean, I don't know. It could be that Paddock was, taking daddy's money, buying all these fucking properties. Bought the property for mom. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point. I'm just trying to think it all out in my head how this all could have worked out if daddy had actual money, which I can't prove. But yeah, his dad was definitely into some crazy shit, and he was a psychopath, and it said he was suicidal, which sounds like his son, if we're going with the narrative. So, not really sure on that. Anyways, guys, I'm going to cut this off. I got some things to do around here. So, I got to get going. And I'll talk to you guys later.